What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Garrett here, and what I'm going to do tonight, it's a little up all night. It's late, but we're going to finish off the weekend strong and celebrate a little George Romero. George Romero is one of my all-time favorite directors. Rest in peace. Today is his birthday, so I figured, you know what? Let's do a little ranking. Let's do a little tribute to George because I do love his filmography. I really do. There's not many on here I do not like. I actually kind of like all of them in their own little way, more or less. There's about 16, 17 films I'm going to talk about tonight. And I'm just going to kind of put them in a little bit of a personal ranking. Figured I would do this live because it's interesting to just kind of see what people are saying about what their ranking would be. So definitely in the comments, if you're hitting this on a replay, like let me know what your ranking would be. I guarantee a lot of you guys are not going to agree with a lot of what I say here when it comes to the ranking, but that's why it's a personal ranking. And these kind of things are pretty cool because no matter which creator you check out that's doing any kind of ranking, it could be for the Halloweens, it could be for anything, you're always going to get a difference of opinion. So pretty cool. I will kind of run through these, and I would love to see what you guys have to say as I'm going down the list, because like I said, I highly doubt you guys are going to agree with me on all these. So before I start, let's just hit and see who is in the chat. This wasn't really an advertised show. It should have been, but it was one of those things that I was going to go on earlier, but I saw my boy Uncle Bill over there with his new show over on Dead Pit Radio called Exploitation Nation. And what is it? Nation of Exploitation. I think something like that, right? But it's a new show, and he had a couple guests on. So I wanted to let him kind of run his show for a little bit, and then I figured I would squeeze this in at the end of the night. So if you were over there, awesome. If you popped over here, I appreciate it. I'm not sure if they're done yet, but I think they went live at 10. So I'm going to get to the chat really quick, see who is in the house. Definitely hit the like button, guys. It really does help the channel out, the show out. If you're bored, share it around. I appreciate that. And let's see what we got going on here. Ken Carlson, what's up, man? I hope to see Day of the Dead on 4K soon. The OCN is currently MIA. That is interesting. I didn't know a lot about that information. That it is MIA. I know the last time we got some kind of upgrade was from Scream Factory. But yeah, I mean, I'm hoping for a 4K soon as well, but it comes with that and Dawn. Like, they've been just so hard to kind of come by lately, which is so funny because I feel like during the DVD era, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead were released so many times. It feels like. So now, like, since Blu-ray hit, those two titles have just been like so hard to find. I was able to get the ones from Anchor Bay, and then I ended up getting the Arrow edition ones, but then I sold off my Arrow ones thinking, you know what, these are going to come out eventually on better editions. I have the Anchor Bay ones. I got good money for those. So I did sell those back in the day. And surprisingly, nothing has really come out for those except for the Scream Factory one. And then obviously I have that huge Dawn Second Sight box set, which I don't think there ever could be anything better than that. I think that's like the end all be all of Dawn of the Dead sets. But yeah, hopefully Day of the Dead is on its way soon in some scenario, because I do know that the Scream Factory Blu-ray is pretty hard to get now anyways. What's up, MG? This is a nice Romero box set. Oh, wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. Amazon Italy. Yeah, I don't know. I've never done Amazon Italy before. I've done Amazon UK. I've done maybe Germany. I don't remember, but I have done it quite a bit. But that's cool. So is it got everything in there? Which would be pretty wild. Mick Holton, what is going on, dude? Welcome to the show. Astro Juicy, welcome. Watching me over on Twitch. That's awesome, man. Again, I don't really announce that we're doing a lot of Twitch stuff. I have it, on Twitch with a Radpack, so I basically will just stream all of my stuff by myself over there as well, along with all the Radpack shows. So if you're subscribed to the Radpack over on Twitch, the Radpack podcast, you're getting all my shows, all my live shows, and all the Radpack live shows. So you're going to kind of get a double dose over there on Twitch. If you guys are hanging out over there, and, you know, if we build up a little bit of a base over on Twitch, then you know what, it's something that I wanted to kind of build. So then maybe we can start doing things like real cool watch alongs and stuff over there. So it's cool that Astro is over there watching from Twitch. So guys, if you have a Twitch account, go follow the Radpack on Twitch. And like I said, if we do get more people on that service, then we might be able to just do some live watch-alongs, which I think you can kind of get away with over there, and not get busted like you would on YouTube for copyrights and whatnot. So we could definitely do some different things over on Twitch. Appreciate you hanging out. Blu-ray Addict, what is going on? Magic Hands, what's up? Garrett Tiger, what's up, dude? Hope all is well with you, man. Yeah, what's up, Zombie Daddy? Go check out Zombie Daddy Films. What's up, man? Happy birthday, Romero. Yeah, I saw you did a video going to, was it Romero's gravestone? Go check that out. That's pretty sick. Witch Hunter, what is going on, man? Jesse! What's up, Jesse? Oh, Dirk in the house. Dirk. I just saw that Dirk over at Subjective Perspective Collective was nominated for the next horror YouTuber of the month. So, if you follow Anthony's Horror and More, go check out his newest video. He's the current holder of the horror YouTuber of the month, and he nominated Dirk. And I voted for Mr. Subjective Collective Perspective today, for the next horror YouTuber of the month. So, guys, if you go over there and Dirk, if you want to post the link in here, man, or whatever, by all means, go for it, or in my comments or something like that. If people want to go over and throw you a vote, there's actually a lot of cool people nominated too. So definitely go check that out because they do have some good nominations over there. Movie Junkie John, what's up? Blu-ray Addict, my favorite film, Romero, is Day of the Dead. I think that's a lot of people's tops. What's up, TJ? TJ's always streaming. He's always streaming. He's already calling Night of the Living Dead. Nice. I've seen them all. More. I've seen more than others, like as far as how many times, but I have seen them all. Yeah, we're talking about the rights. What's up, Tyler Durden? Worst Corey Haim film ever? It's got to be like Busted or whatever. Like some of those old, like later ones with like Feldman and him. Those were kind of shitty. What's up, Huck? Go check out Huck Pop Culture Cafe. You still need a copy of Dawn. It seems like a lot of people do. I do think that. What's that one that's going on now? There's like Second Sight re-released Dawn on 4K, but it's not the big chunky box like I have with all the editions. I think it just is just a standalone edition, but I mean it's still available. I keep seeing Orbit and stuff post bunches of them. Oh, Cursed Media, thank you. It's been a while. I appreciate you popping in, guys. Hit the like button if you're not subscribed to the channel. Please subscribe as well. It's good to see you all in here. Blu-ray Addict only has Dawn on DVD. Yeah, there was a bunch of them on DVD. Oh, you're welcome, dude. You're an OG, man. You deserve the respect. You deserve the props. So yeah, you got my vote too. That's so interesting. I've never seen that before, so maybe I'll search it out just to get a look at it because I do have all of his movies. So, like I said, we've got about 17 movies to talk about, and I'm not going to talk about them a ton. I'll give you a little bit of snippets here and there. Like I said, I have seen some of these more than others. So, there's only a couple I can talk a little bit about because I've only seen them maybe once or twice. But Tyler's asking me, where do I back to I don't know, man. Whatever I can find some cool stuff. So like a lot of the stuff you're seeing back here, the skateboard, the hoverboard, those are limited edition, long sold out. I got the skateboard right from the site that did them. I'm trying to think who put that out. It's Valterra. I think Valterra was it's not the company. I don't know, but whatever skateboard company that is, they put that out in 2015 as like a anniversary thing. I think it was limited to like, I don't know, a couple hundred. And then Mattel put out the hoverboard, but that's long gone as well. So I guess it really depends on what's available. Let me see. All right, let's start it out. Okay, so, Romero has a lot of films that everybody knows, mostly ones from like the 80s. He's got some older ones. But at the tail end of his career, he started throwing out some sequels to the Dead franchise. So The last one on my list, what's coming in dead last, is going to be Diary of the Dead. I just really didn't care for, like, the found footage look, the first person. I think this just had a really cheap feel to it. It didn't feel like a Romero Dead movie. So for me, this one had to come in dead last, and it's part of that Dimension Extreme. And I only own this on DVD. Does this have a Blu-ray? I have no idea. It may. But I think I've only really watched this one time when I first got it. And I just really was disappointed with the whole thing. I just didn't feel like it felt like a Romero film. I didn't really like the angle of like using like a first person cam when it came to Romero's films. So to me, this is definitely going to be dead last. Um, so again, I don't know much else about this because I only saw it that first time, and I just remember saying like, "Yeah, I'll never watch that again." Well, following that up is gonna be, I guess, the follow-up to this, I assume, was Survival of the Dead. Um, and this has got a real cool lenticular slip on this Blu-ray. This is a Blu-ray. And, same thing, like, I think this was better than Diary. It didn't have that same kinda shaky cams, first person, feel to it. Felt a little bit better. I actually feel like this one's, quality was better than this one. So, like, I almost felt like this looked better than this one. This one looked really cheap, and as far as I remember, they kinda blend to me a little bit. But, yeah, that's gonna be my next on the list is going to be Survival. Those are gonna be my bottom 2 of the ranking, for him, just because, again, it was just very disappointing. I don't really even like to include those, when I think about his movies as far as the Dead series, and franchise. I just feel like it just doesn't feel the same. I know for years they were talking about Twilight of the Dead, which would have been really cool, to get. But those just seemed like they were just done, because maybe he was forced to do them, and maybe Diary with the first person thing and the found footage looking, camera angles were hot. Maybe they thought they would capitalize on that. But yeah, both were not really good. CGI was terrible. Actually, I see Blu-ray Addict says the same thing. Um, and Blu-ray said that's his last one. So yeah, it just not good, in my opinion. Just never was into either of them, wasn't a fan of either of them. And which is funny because the next one on my list is one that kind of came out on physical media recently that was kind of lost. It was almost like it was unfinished, and they kind of put it together and basically made it as best they could after George died and put it out on Blu-ray. And it's a Shutter exclusive, and it's from the 70s. I think it was like a 74 movie or 76. And that is Amusement Park. Now, again, is this good? I'm going to see what year this was made. Let me see. This was made in, I cannot even see it on here. This came out in 2020 on physical media, but this was made, I think, in like 74 or 76. Um, but it just came out a couple of years ago, finally. It says here, recently discovered and restored 46 years after its completion. George Romero's The Amusement Park um, is an elderly man who finds himself disoriented, increasingly isolated, as in pains, tragedies, and humiliations of an aging in America are manifested through roller coasters and chaotic crowds. Now, it doesn't feel finished. Like when you watch this, you feel like it's half a movie. This is only about an hour long. So it's not even over an hour. I think it's 54, 55 minutes. It's got some features on here, but they were able to restore this and they were able to kind of clip it together to make it feel like a full movie. Now, is this good? Is it worth a watch? It's not good. It's very hard to follow, but why this is on the list here instead of dead last is because I don't care what you say. Me watching somebody walk around an amusement park in the 70s and watching all these people on, old school rides and amusement parks and in a carnival, like I love that stuff. So I would rather sit there and just watch a discombobulated movie of people on roller coasters and bumper cars in the 70s and shots of like an amusement park through the 70s and have more fun with that than I would watching these two dead sequels or prequels or whatever you want to call them. I have way more fun just watching the environment in this movie than I do that. So that's why it did not fall dead last on my list. But like I said, if you're a completist, especially on things like Romero. It's something you want to get, and it should be still available. I mean, Shutter put it out, RJL, RLJE put it out. So again, it's just one of those things that I always kind of wanted to see it, so now I had a perfect opportunity to. So, and Dirk said that he appreciates it as well, and I agree. It's just it is what it is. It's George in the '70s, and you got to appreciate just the scenery of it and what they were able to do and get this thing out because this thing was like long gone forever. Um, let me see what couple people are saying before I move right on. What's up, Don Morton? Jesse says, "We get hard to rank all his films, but the latest Dead films, I agree, are bottom tier, underrated, Dark Half, and Stephen King. Yeah, what's up, Jesse, man? Welcome to the show. New subscriber, so I appreciate you coming and checking it out live. Blu-ray Addict said they announced Brad Anderson, who directed Session 9, was going to direct Twilight of the Dead not too long ago. Hey, I mean, that would be cool. If there's a script out there that George wrote and somebody wants to direct it, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. My biggest concern with a lot of things is just hopefully it's not just overly CGI. Like, I don't know. I wasn't really somebody who was watching The Walking Dead, but it seems like they did a pretty good job with kind of the zombies. So if they can kind of get some practical stuff going on in there, I'm interested. I'm interested. Yeah, not many people have seen the Amusement Park. I actually didn't see it until this came out in like 2020. Um, but like I said, it doesn't feel finished. It's only about an hour. They did the best they could with it. It's awesome to see. If you're a Romero fan, you want to have it in your collection. And like I said, you do get a lot of cool, visuals and stuff like that of 70s amusement parks and stuff. Let me see. Yeah, for sure. I agree. Oh, what's up, Bog Zombie? Thank you, man. It was kind of a last minute decision, to be honest with you. I knew I needed some content, and I figured this would be fun to do live. Rankings are always fun live. All right, so the next one is another early Romero movie. This is not even one he really cares about that much. It's a lost Romero movie. He kind of like what he didn't. It's not all him. He didn't even write this. He directed it. And he kind of was like, he said it was like a half-assed directing job. He doesn't find this one of his movies that he gives a shit about. And you can kind of tell. I mean, it was kind of thrown together. It's not horror at all. Um, and there's always vanilla. And Arrow put this out. And, it's just one of those movies, again, 70s movie. I think it's like about, I'm trying to think what this one is. This was also called Jack's Wife, the name of this was. There was an alternate title for this, I believe. Jack's Wife. Was that what it's called? I think it was called Jack's Wife, I believe. Oh no. This one was called The Affair. Yeah, this one was called The Affair, I think. Yeah, this was the other name. I think this was called The Affair. But yeah. So basically, it's almost like kind of like a love story. It was a '70s movie. Again, I've only seen this once. Let me see what it says. It says young Chris meets a beautiful model, Lynn. By the chance of occurrence, the pair hit off and a romantic relationship ensues. But with their wildly contrasting outlooks on life, it soon becomes clear that the coupling is doomed for the outset. So, again, brand new 2K scan. I mean, it's cool that Arrow put some time into this because, like I said, Romero doesn't really care much about this film. Not horror. It's kind of like 70s. What's the word I'm looking for? I wouldn't say exploitation. 70s kind of like a drama. But yeah, this had another thing called The Affair. So if you get an idea of what that is like, um, but yeah, it's hitting the bottom of my list. Not that I hate it. I actually don't mind it. I've only seen it that one time. I didn't hate it. I kind of was like, all right, it is what it is. And when I'm watching the features and stuff, it said that he wasn't really a big fan of this. He really wasn't 100% his movie. He kind of helped finish it, but people consider it his. So yeah, that made the kind of the bottom tier of my list because as we start moving, like after this, I pretty much kind of like all of them after this. And I know a lot of people are probably going to be asking me about where one of them is already, but I'll go back to the chat before we move on. There we go. Anthony's Horror More. Congrats, dude. New horror YouTuber of the month over here. Go check out his channel. Like I said, he's got a new video up where he announces the next horror YouTuber candidates. So go check those out. Check out the people he announced and check their stuff out and throw a vote in there. Like I said, we do have Dirk in here, who is one of the nominees, and we usually do get other people in the chat that are nominated this month. So very very cool. Go check out Anthony over there and throw a vote in for some of your favorites. So thanks for popping in, dude. Let me see. What's up, Master of All Movies, Prestwood DVD collector? I don't know if you're talking about this vanilla one, but yeah, it's understandable. Yeah, there's a ton. There's so much stuff to revisit always. Um, I did not know that. That is pretty cool. What's up, Mike Wolf? Wolf. All right. So the next one is one that I'm sure would have been on the bottom of people's lists. It came out, I think, in like 2000. So it was a later movie for him. And I know I had this movie on a standalone DVD because I remember it had like a Walmart sticker on it. I think it was Walmart, yeah. But I found this laying around in my collection. It's like a 4-pack, and it's got it on there, so I brought it to the table. And this is his movie Bruiser from like the 2000s. So this is a 4-pack. It's got Darktown, Godsend, Bruiser, Vampires. But I do have a standalone DVD of this with like a Walmart tag on it. For some reason, I couldn't find it in my shelf, so I figured I'd just bring this out and show you. This is Bruiser. Now, this is one of those Romero movies that people want to kind of forget about. But it's not terrible. It feels, which I don't think is a bad thing, it feels very late 90s. It has like a specific feel, like something you would have seen on late night TV back in the day. Um, it just had that feel of something from the late 90s. It's hard to explain. It was like a specific feeling, almost like a made for TV, not late 90s um, horror thriller movie. It's about a guy who basically is just kind of, I wouldn't say like a Patrick Bateman-esque kind of guy, but he wants to look better. He wants a nice car. Um, he wants chicks, and he ends up getting like a white mask, and he uses that, to as his new look. So it's an interesting mask, just white with like two little holes in it, and he kind of becomes almost like a slasher type of movie. But like I said, it's almost like it's a thriller. It's definitely more of a thriller, maybe an erotic thriller, kind of. But there's cool things in it. It's like the Misfits, I think, are in that as well. I think that he goes to like a concert or whatever. But again, is it one of Romero's best? Absolutely not. But I also think it's not as horrible as people say it is. It's just to me, it feels like what Romero was doing in the late 90s, right? Like it has a feeling of a late 90s horror thriller movie. So again, I think it's one of those movies that if like Vinegar Syndrome put it out in a nice version, I think it would almost get a little bit more of like love, because I do think this is something that people might kind of go back on and be like, it wasn't that bad. But I think because it was such a cheap, situation back then. Like I think, like I said, it was like a Walmart exclusive for a while, and I don't think anybody really took it serious. Just felt like a late '90s made for TV horror thriller. But again, that's why it fell where it did on my list. And now we're kind of getting into the middle of the list with the ones that more people know and more people really love. Now, this is where I think it's going to get real interesting with what I'm choosing to go where, especially as we get towards the bottom or the top of the list, I would say. But before we do that, guys, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you hit that like button as well. I'll throw the little banner back up here if anybody's popping in. Sweep the like button, share, sub. If you haven't joined over at the Radpack YouTube channel, that's my podcast. We have a YouTube channel as well. Go check that out, because we do shows there, live shows, recorded shows, podcast, video podcast, interviews. Go check that out as well. So the next one is I don't mind this movie. I think for when this came out and being a sequel to beloved movies, it was okay. It was passable, and that is gonna be Land of the Dead. I remember seeing this in theaters. I was so excited to see this in theaters because, again, being such a big Romero fan and a fan of the Dead movies and seeing a new sequel come out, I was stoked for it. And it's not a bad film. It's actually it's okay. It's pretty decent as far as a sequel that came out years and years later. This had to have been what 2000, 2005. All right, 2005. This thing came out. It doesn't feel um, yeah, I guess 2005 seems about right. But yeah, Land of the Dead. Anybody else in here seen this in theaters? I'm just curious on ages of people that are in here. 2005 this came out. I remember seeing this the day one and I kind of liked it. Like I think it started pretty good and then I think it started to get a little bit wonky towards the end when they were, crossing the river and getting to the city and whatnot, but it's all right. It's all right. Land of the Dead's okay. Um Blu-ray Addict's a fan. Okay, so he likes Land of the Dead. Yeah, and if you're a big fan of Land of the Dead, the main guy there, I forget what his name is in the movie, but he's at every convention I go to, all set up. He's got all these props. Um, Interesting. Land of the Dead would be higher on my list. It's not as ballsy leaning to Hollywood. Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was definitely good, but at the same time, I'm looking at my list here and I'm like, wow, there's so many bangers. Now, could Land of the Dead and this next one kind of flip? Yeah, they could have flipped. Um, Nice, man. We were just talking about that. We are just talking about that. Go check out Christian. I'm going to be on his channel on Tuesday. So if you're not subscribed over at Planet CHH, go sub to him. We got a show on Tuesday over on his. Um, but yeah, it's a good flick. And like I said, this one and Land, um, I think I could have flipped them. There's not many people I think are going to care about this movie, but I didn't mind it. It's from the 70s. It's Season of the Witch. And it's funny because people are like Season of the Witch, like Halloween 3. Yeah, but this one was called what I say before, Jack's Wife. That was the original name of this movie. But they changed it to Season of the Witch, and it's basically about a woman who gets involved. It's like a housewife who gets involved in witchcraft, and it's got a good 70s feel. It was made in the 70s. I love 70s horror. It's made for TV horror. I really, really like that kind of stuff. And it was just a cool movie. It has to do with like a guy and his wife. He's not treating her that well. She gets into witchcraft, and the devil's talking to her, or she starts to want to get with another guy. So it's a pretty cool movie. If you're into that stuff, it reminds me a little bit of what's the one with Linda Blair? I always get them kind of mixed up because it involves kind of witchcraft. Um, the real good one from Linda Blair there. Geez, it just came out for Vinegar Syndrome partner label, but I forget the name of it. But that one and this one always kind of could go, as a double feature for me. But yeah, this is Season of the Witch from the 70s, and it's a cool movie, and that's why it kind of just slightly, squeezed out in front of Land of the Dead for me. Oh, Summer of Fear. Yeah, like I feel like it would be a good double feature with Summer of Fear for sure. Basically, yeah, it was. And that was kind of cool about it too. Like you could see how through the years they evolved. And what was nice about Land of the Dead was they didn't ignore the other ones. It kind of just felt like it was further in the future, which I do appreciate that. And Dirk says he finds that this is pretty solid. Yeah, I like that one. It's not one many people talk about much at all. But yeah, Arrow put out a Blu-ray of that movie. I had Anchor Bay, I had a DVD of it back in the day. Um, but yeah, the next one is one. It's interesting because I find that when I first saw this movie, I really liked it a lot. And then I kind of feel like the more I watch it, the more I'm kind of like, man, I always thought this was a lot better. I always felt like this was a lot better of a movie than it is. Um, but it's still good. It's still different. I mean, it's old school Romero. I mean, they did a damn remake of this movie, considering it's not a hugely successful Romero movie, and that's the Crazies, um, which again is is a cool movie. I mean, it really is. But like I said, when I first saw this for the first time, I was in love with it. Like I thought it was such a rad movie. And it just seems like the more I watch it, the more I'm kind of like, I thought this was better, but still really solid. Um, if anybody is a fan of this one, let me know. Like I said, it did get a remake. I don't really remember the remake much. I think it was kind of just subpar. I remember being excited for the remake because I really liked this one, and then when I saw it in theaters, I was kind of like, it was okay. But yeah, this is another one from Romero, 70s as well. I'm pretty positive it was 70s. Oh wow, 73. I didn't even realize it was that early into the game for him. But yeah, the Crazies. So he says up there top 5 Romero, the Crazies. Yeah, Crazies, I feel like it's become one of those movies that it's really hot and cold for people. Like I've heard a lot of people say like they hate that movie. I've heard a lot of people say they love that movie. Um, let me see. Wow, we get some love for the remake though. Cool, cool, cool. I remember getting that original one sheet of the remake poster with like the stop sign, or like a street sign or a stop sign or something like that. Um, I thought that was a really cool poster. Oh my god, Summer Affair is fantastic, fantastic. If you guys don't have that one, that's not Romero, that's, who is that? That's, Craven. Vinegar Syndrome just put out recently, the partner label, I don't remember which one, put it out, but it's a real good movie with starring Linda Blair, very, very good. Wow, a lot of people just seen the remake. Yeah, the remake's a lot more like there's a lot more action in the remake, but, you know, I know a lot of people, some horror fans don't like slow burn movies. I do. So that's why like a lot of these 70s movies that have a lot of build up and the story and whatnot. Like I really enjoy those. As long as there's a good payoff at the end. I actually like kind of slower paced movies. Um, yeah, definitely. It gets hard. Like I said, like so it starts off a little bit slow and then it just starts going a little bit bonkers. Yeah. All right, we're in the middle of the pack now, gang. Middle of the pack. And I don't know which number this is. Let me see. This will be one, two. All right, this is like 9. All right, so that was number 10. That's the top 10. This is number 9 on my list, and it's got a great 4K release from Blue Underground. And this is one that I think for a lot of people they probably have passed by. And it's not a complete Romero movie, but it's a fantastic movie nonetheless. And that is Two Evil Eyes. And I think this is one too that not enough people have given a chance to, but this is both Romero and Argento in this, and I think both stories are really, really good. Um, both are awesome. You got Romero had the story about who was in it. Barbeau, Adriana Barbeau was in it, and she was married to like this old man who was rich, and they were trying to kind of kill him to get his money. She had a younger guy that she was dating, and they were basically using this guy for his money, but he wouldn't die, and they're starting to freak out because they think he's dead, and he's not really dead. It's something you really feel. This was based off, I think, of like Edgar Allan Poe stories, but it definitely feels like an episode of Tales from the Crypt. Really, really much so. Both of these do, and Argento does a remake of The Black Cat in this as well, but very, very, very good movie here. This double feature type of thing. They actually wanted to make this an anthology movie, but it ended up just being Romero and Argento doing their movies. So you get 2 movies for the price of one. Very, very cool. This 4K from Blue Underground. Blue Underground kicks ass in 4Ks. They don't do many, but when they do, I think they look great. Um, so I highly recommend Two Evil Eyes. You can probably watch this on streaming pretty easily. I think I've seen it on there before. But yeah, I would check it out. It feels very Tales from the Crypt. So if you're interested, if you like Tales from the Crypt episodes, kind of has that same vibe as you get when you're watching some of those Tales from the Crypt movies. Um, so it's funny because let me see, people are talking heavily about this right now. When we get to where people are talking. Yes, Two Evil Eyes is great. Harvey Keitel, Two Evil Eyes, Missing from My Shelf. Yeah, I would get on it. Again, if you're a completist when it comes to certain things, snag it. If you're kind of like, let me watch it first, like I said, you can probably stream it. Um, yeah, it was exactly. Yep. It's funny because someone like Dirk, I figured he would be all about Two Evil Eyes, because of the type of stuff he's into. But that's interesting that it never really clicked with you. So people don't like it's fun. Wow, a lot of people don't like this one. EC Comics tells yes, definitely, definitely. All right, Jesse said it's on Tubi, gang. So if you haven't watched it, definitely check it out. Um, hell yeah, I just watched that the other day. Um, oh, Savini did the effects on it. So I I think it's really cool, man. And it's like I said, it's pretty high on my list. Considering it is a little bit polarizing for people. Some people like it, some people don't. But I think it's pretty underrated as far as a great just overall movie. Obviously, many people must like it because it's been out. You know, Blue Underground had the DVD, they did the Blu-ray, they did the 4K already, so it must sell okay. Um, and that brings me to my next one, which I think this one is maybe in the same boat where it's a love hate type thing, and that's going to be The Dark Half. So this is a Stephen King joint that Romero was asked to kind of do. I'm trying to think. There's a story with this one. What was Romero supposed to do, and he left the project to work on this? Wasn't that the case? Wasn't that the big rumor? If anybody knows that story, let me know. I'm pretty sure Romero was working on another movie, and then Stephen King called him up to do this, and he bounced on the other movie to do this one. And I think the other movie is a pretty good movie, and I think it was one of those things like, oh, what if Romero did do that one? Was it Christine? Maybe I don't remember. No, it could have been Christine because that's Stephen King as well. There is a movie that Romero was doing. Oh, you know what I think it was? I think it was Silver Bullet. I think it was Silver Bullet actually. Let me see what year this came out. This came out in 93. No, that couldn't have been right then. That couldn't have been right. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on this. Maybe I'm wrong. For some reason, I remember Romero. Now I'm all messed up. I remember Romero. I think he worked on Silver Bullet, I believe, and he was basically like the main guy with it. And then no, I'm confused now. But let me know. Did Romero have something to do with Silver Bullet and then left the project? I'm pretty sure he did, but for some reason I feel like this was kind of in the mix. But yeah, but I think this one's a little bit underappreciated, to be honest with you. I'm a big Stephen King adaptation guy. Um, I've always been kind of a fan of his work, his books, and I'm a pretty big fan of like his adaptations. And that's a whole Rad Pack episode that's going to be done this year. Like I said, we've already got our schedule out for the year, and we're going to be doing like a Stephen King adaptation episode this year. We're just going to pick the month. It could be next month if people are interested in it. So let me know in the comments below if you're really interested in that, and we can push the date up to probably next month to do it. Um, I don't know, man. I don't remember. I don't know. I might be confused. For some reason, I feel like he jumped on this. Was it Salem's? I don't know. So two things: was Romero connected to Silver Bullet at all? Is that just in my memory, or is that just my imagination, or no? And then number two, did he come and do the Dark Half when he was also kind of in the works with something else? Those are my two questions. I don't think that they connect because the dates are too far away. So that's why I don't think it's connected. But anyway, Dark Half is coming in the top 10 for favorite Romero films. Now, I think right now is where shit's going to get real bonkers for a lot of people to hear. Oh, man. Um, One, two, three, four, five, six, seven. Okay, we have 7 left out of 17. So top 7, and I really do think this is where things are gonna get a little wacky when it comes to my taste and everybody else's. All right. So number 7 has an amazing release that kinda came out recently. 4K, hell of a job from one of the best boutique labels out there. And, that is Martin. Martin. Second Sight put this out. Which year did this come out? 77. Martin. Very, very cool movie. Um, it's as you can see, Martin thinks he's a vampire. So it says here a young old man believes himself to be a vampire, goes to live with his elderly and religious cousin in Pennsylvania, where he redeems his blood craving urges after he falls for a lonely housewife. And while his hostile cousin becomes convinced that this young man is Nosferatu. So Martin's a real cool movie. I know a lot of people like this one a lot, and I'm sure people are probably like, "Why isn't this higher on your list?" Like I said, I'm in my top 7 now, so it did make it up into the top 10. I know a lot of people love this one, and it's about time that we got this thing on a cool release like this. And somebody says, "Justice, I'm peanut butter and jealous right now. I don't have that limit." Is this sold out? Is this gone? I don't know. It was a day one purchase for me because it was such a want on a new format for so long. I had my Anchor Bay DVD for just so long. Um, this was a great upgrade. So number 7 on my ranking is going to be Martin. Um, oh, that's interesting. The George Romero Resident Evil doc. Yeah, because he was supposed to do that, right? And then that's what it was. My bad, dude. You're right. It was Coscarelli that left Silver Bullet. I'm thinking Coscarelli then. He left Silver Bullet. And what did he go do? What did he do instead? That's right. My bad. It was Coscarelli, which would have been sick. You all right? I'm wrong. Thank you, Bog Zombie. I appreciate that. But yeah, a Resident Evil doc. I'm really excited to see that, especially if they're going to talk about all the Romero stuff and whatnot. That would have been great. That would have been so cool. Um, I think that would have been so cool. I have a lot of Romero documentaries actually. He's done a few. Birth of the Living Dead. I think there was like maybe there was another one, but yeah. And Romero was so great. And as you can see, like as we're talking about all these, like none of these are bad. Maybe a couple of those last Dead ones were bad, but other than that, um, all fun stuff. Agree. So did I. I think it would have just been it would have been more loved, I think, than it is. Because that first one was a little bit of a mess, in my opinion. I remember seeing that in the theater from day one, and it was just kind of a mess. It was very different than the games, obviously. I think part 2 was actually pretty good. I thought that was a little bit better, but then I just kind of lost track after like maybe part 3 or something like that. All right, so Martin being at number 7, so you're thinking to yourself, well, what the heck's left? What's up there? Well, this is going to be one that MG says that Martin, he thinks Grindhouse Video has a few. If you guys are interested in this Martin set, this is one that people are probably going to be like, why is this above Martin? Man, I don't know what it is. I love this movie. I do. I don't know what I think it's just the aesthetic of it, the idea of it being so different. It goes back to what I've said 100 times before. When it comes to things in like the 70s and 80s, you could bring stuff to the table that in this day and age would be like shut down in 2 seconds. And this one is one that I think I don't know if many people like this one, to be quite honest with you. It's Knightriders. It's Knightriders from George Romero. Man, 80s. It's about a medieval, like, traveling circus that ride dirt bikes. It's pretty freaking awesome of a movie. It really is cool. Like, you got on Tom Savini in, like, a main role. I think he looks and does fantastic in this. Um, Man, I don't know what else to say. Ed Harris is, like, the main guy. This is an awesome movie. If anybody has not seen this, and by the cover alone, people probably have walked by this so many times and be like, "What is this garbage?" But this is sick, man. It's so kind of just basic, but it just works on all levels. It's about this traveling medieval circus, and they're kind of like one big happy family performing all over the place, and, things just kinda get out of hand. People want a little bit more power. I mean, it's just hard to explain, but it's just such a good, um, comfort movie, I would say. Like, I can have this on in the background at any time and just kinda have fun with it and enjoy it while I'm doing stuff. Like, it's got a nice pace to it. It's just fun. It's really, really cool. Um Wow, it's getting a lot of love. Knightriders is a banger, sometimes you can't just have look at this. Wow, I'm shocked that you guys are this. I thought for sure people were gonna kill me over Knightriders being, like, above things like Martin and Land of the Dead and all this other stuff, but I always loved this movie. I really, really did. Blu-ray Addict says he thinks the critics did? Wow, at 80% of Rotten Tomatoes. I am shocked because I thought for sure most people probably laughed at this movie. Um, Correct. It's kind of like a soap opera with all the storylines and character relationship, but in a good way. I agree. It's on Tubi, so check it out, gang. I don't think it's gonna be for everybody. It's not a fast-paced movie. It's kind of like you said, it feels very soap opera esque. And I'm not huge on a lot of medieval type stuff. I mean, I like a lot more medieval, like 80s movies and stuff, but yeah, this one really, really um has been one I've loved for such a long time. Like, I really got into Romero. My uncle got me into him, obviously, because of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Day of the Dead. And then he started introducing me to a lot of his other films. I remember when he was like, "Oh, you got to check out Knight Rider." He let me borrow the DVD, and I was like, "Dude, that was awesome." So, yeah, Knight Riders falls in at number 6 on my Romero ranking list. Again, guys, we have 63 people in the chat right now. It is late night on a Sunday. I know there's other people streaming right now as well, so I appreciate everybody who's in here listening to me just ramble about Romero. So definitely hit that like on the show. I appreciate that. Um, I'm going to get into my top 5 now, and I still think this is going to kind of ruffle a little bit of feathers because I know there's definitely people on different sides of the fence when it comes to specific Romero movies. So for me, this is my top 5, and let's get to it. If anybody wants to pop their top 5 in the mix, right now, if you're watching it live, you can pop in your top 5. If you're in the replay and you want to throw in the comments, guys in the replay, definitely throw in your top 5, top 10, whatever. You want to put your ranking in the comments. I would love to see them. Maybe they're similar to mine. Maybe they're way different than mine, but that's the kind of stuff I'd like to see. So in the comments, definitely throw your ranking in there. Top 5, top 10, top 17, whatever. But guys in the live chat, throw your top 5 in there, Romero films. Um, all my uncles sucked when I was a kid. Just dude, he really was. He really is actually. He got me into everything I'm into now. He got me into working out. That's what I do as a career. He got me into horror at a young age, and I love it. He got me into collecting physical media. I love it. He got me into collecting posters. Love it. Got me into pro wrestling. Like, he really was somebody that got me into everything that I still absolutely love. So yeah, man, he was good, dude. Yeah, agree. What's up, Max? Um, Tubi's awesome. Tubi is so good, especially like again, late at night. I'm laying in bed. I'm like, I'm just gonna throw something on. I always go to Tubi and see what's on there. I might watch something I've never seen before. I may watch something that I have here in the library, but I'm just too lazy to walk down 2 flights of stairs to go get it. So very cool. Look at this. Jesse's throwing his top 5 out there. Wow. Wow. This is one people are gonna battle with. Monkey Shines, Day of the Dead, Creepshow, Dawn, Dark Half, Blu-ray Attic, Day, Night, Dawn, Land, Creepshow. All right. What? Wait, actually, I might have messed up here. Damn, did I? Huh. I think I messed up. I didn't bring Creepshow 2. Okay, so George didn't technically direct. Okay. So that makes me feel a little bit better because I didn't bring Creepshow 2 to the table. If I did, if I did bring Creepshow 2 to the table, it would probably fall in right now. So if Creepshow 2 was here, it would fall right now. It would be my number, technically my number 6. Okay. If I had Creepshow 2, it would come in right after Knightriders for sure. So I'm kind of glad we just talked about that. But if not, if we're just doing the directed ones, number 5 on my top 5, Day of the Dead. Now I know this one is going to get a lot of hate that this came in number 5 of my favorite Romero movies. I love Day of the Dead. I love Day of the Dead, but not as much as I think most people do. Um, I know this is a lot of people's number one, and a lot of people like Day of the Dead the best. And like I said, I love it, but there's more Romero that I love more. So I know this is going to definitely be different than what most people's rankings going to be. But yeah, I mean, I love Day. But to me, this was always my least of his 3 first Dead movies. It always was. And I've tried to rewatch it 100 times to see if I do feel like this is the best. And as much as it's awesome, I still think that there's other ones that are better. But yeah, Day of the Dead comes in at number 5 in my ranking Romero. So Jesse chimes in. Day of the Dead is a great first and third act. Second act stacks momentum and the bub, keeping narrative afloat. The effects are great. The effects are great. Dylan says Dawn, Day, Creepshow, Night, Monkey Shines. Interesting. Here we go. Dirk. Night of the Living Dead, is that Day or Dawn? Creepshow, Crazies, Season of Witch. Which Hunter? Night of the Living Dead, Dawn, Day, Creepshow, Monkey Shines. All right, so number 4 on the list is one of the most iconic horror movies of all time. If this movie didn't exist, thousands of other movies probably wouldn't exist. And that is George Romero's Night of the Living Dead. I love this movie. Always loved this movie. And I'll even go out on the limb and say I like Savini's version of the movie that came out in 90. I just think it's a great story. I think the acting is fantastic. I think it still holds up to this day. The story's great. I just love everything about Night. And like I said, it's such an iconic movie. There'd be no day if there was no night. And there would be a lot of stuff. So Night of the Living Dead is definitely up there for me. It's my number 4 in ranking Romero. Wait, Dirk hates Dawn? He hates it? Wow, I knew what's his name hated it. T-shirt Joe hates it. I know that much. TJ says Creepshow, Dawn, Day, Martin, ends of the day, yeah. Tony Todd. Oh yeah, he did a great job in that. Oh wow, look at this yawn. Wow. I did not realize this. Oh, it's out of print. You know what? Search for it because I'm going to tell you that I had. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the Summer of Fear, and I don't know if it's still available, but Summer of Fear came out from a company, and I bought it, and then Vinegar Syndrome released it, but it was under a partner label, and I bought it, and then when I got it, it had this nice slipcover and all this stuff, and I took the slipcover off, and it was the same Blu-ray I had from years prior. So what happened was is Vinegar Syndrome must have acquired that company as a partner label, re-released Summer of Fear, threw a slipcover on it, and made it look like it was a new edition. and it sold out. So if it's sold out, eBay, Amazon, Summer of Fear, Blu-ray, and like I said, it's not Vinegar Syndrome, it's a partner label, but regardless, whatever one's out there is the one that came from Vinegar Syndrome. So even if it's a different company, whatever, like I said, it's the same thing. They just put a slipcover on it. 100%, 100%, 100%. All right, top three Romero films, and I'm actually very shocked when I'm reading a lot of these people's top fives. Okay, Maya. I'm very shocked. Wow, I'm shocked a little bit. I'm shocked, number one, that Knightriders seems to be very well loved. I thought for sure people were going to be like all over me for putting that in my top six. This one, I thought people were going to shit on me for putting it in my top five. It's my top three. But looking at people's list, I'm like, wow, this is getting way more love than I thought it would. And that is another Stephen King adaptation, and that is Monkey Shines. I absolutely love this movie. Always loved this movie ever since I saw this poster on this image on the VHS for the first time. Trying to think, this is definitely late '80s, so '88. This came out. I remember this image on the DVD on the video case, video case shelf at my video store, and being like, "What is this movie? I need to check it out." Sure enough, I rented it and I loved it. Loved it. Another movie that I feel like the '80s could only produce, right? If they came to the table now and said, "Hey, here's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be this guy is very athletic, gets paralyzed, and we're gonna get this monkey to like, kind of be his servant and help him out, and he's so well trained, and the monkey kind of turns on him, and he starts killing people." Like it, I don't think this would ever be made in any other era than like the '80s, maybe the '90s, early '90s, but such a cool freaking movie. And I keep going back and forth on this Umbrella Deluxe Edition because I do have this, and I know it's probably not gonna look any better, but just to have Monkey Shines with, like, a big, thick box, art cards, books, I feel like I need it, but I keep talking myself out of it. Like, I literally was on there today putting it in my cart again for, like, the 5th time, and I'm like, "Oh, do I really need to spend the money on that? I love Monkey Shines, but it's like, do I really need this big box of it?" If it was a 4K, I would have already bought it, but just to see that it got the love that it did, that's why I really want it because I'm such a huge fan of it. If you've been following my content for a long time, you would notice I a lot of times I do have Monkey Shines poster back there, and when I met George Romero for the first no, maybe it was the second time. Maybe the second time. I've met Romero 3 times. I was lucky to meet him 3 times before he passed. The first time I got a Dawn of the Dead poster signed. The second time, um, I brought a Monkey Shines one sheet to him, and his I could not get over his expression. He looked at it, he went, "Ah, Monkey Shines." Like, he was so excited to sign the Monkey Shines poster because I think he just probably never signed those, like, doesn't sign those on a regular basis. So, it was really, really cool, to meet him and have him so excited that I had the Monkey Shines poster that he signed. I had him sign it, I had Savini sign it, and, just a huge fan of this movie, and I really want that deluxe set from Umbrella. Um, I gotta get it. It's just something I really want in my collection. If it like I said, I just wish it was 4K because that would have been enough to have me pull the trigger on it. But just to see that it's getting all that love, I just really like that someone's doing a version like that. And I'm shocked that a lot of you, and I'm gonna go through the chat again, but I'm shocked that a lot of you actually are praising Monkey Shines, especially as like a Romero top 5. I'm pretty shocked. Um, okay, so yeah, so maybe it was Doppelganger, but whatever it was, that's the edition that came out from Vinegar Syndrome. They just threw from a part label, just threw a slipcover on it. It's the same thing. So if you find that, even if it has no slip, get it. It's the same exact version. Um, wait, am I confused again? What did I do here? Stephen King. Wait, Stephen King didn't write. I thought he wrote Monkey Shines. Who wrote it? Am I losing my mind here? So is Monkey Shines not Stephen King? I always thought it was. I can't. There's too much stuff in the back here. Let me know about down below. Why do I think that Stephen King's Monkey Shines? Is that not true? I have the book. Maybe it isn't Stephen King then. Let me see. You guys let me know in the chat. I do have the book. Actually, I'm trying to see if it's right here. It's not. It's in the drawer. 100%. 100%. Oh, Michael Stewart. That's funny, huh? Why? I always thought it was him. You know what, like I said, I have the novel, and I never even thought twice about it. That's so funny. But yeah, the VHS is amazing too. It's ingrained in my brain. It's definitely one I have on VHS still. I never got rid of that because it was so iconic. Yeah, man, that's craziness to me. Today years old. Like I said, I have the book. I just never put two and two together. What's up, Retro? Thanks for popping in. Yeah, I saw that and I was shocked because I thought for sure people were gonna be like, "What? You have Monkey Shines ahead of Day of the Dead? Are you crazy?" Oh yeah, my bad. Thanks for hanging in, Astro. I appreciate you hanging out over there. Zombie Daddy says, "Creepshow, Dawn, Monkey Shines." Wow, I'm shocked and I'm happy that Knightriders and Monkey Shines are getting so much love. I guess so, yeah. Did he? Is that why I'm getting confused? Good. I just want to make sure I'm not the only one as people watch this the replay and be like, well, this guy doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. Nice, dude. I would snag it. It's great. I'm a big, big, big Linda Blair fan, number one, and obviously Wes Craven. It's a made for TV movie from I believe, was it early 80s, 70s? It's so good. So good. All right. So we've got two left, and I'm sure you already know what the two are gonna be. But this was a fun ride, guys. We've been in here about an hour, so that's good. We'll get this done in a couple seconds. Number two is going to be Creepshow. It's going to be Creepshow. Obviously, such a fantastic movie. It's been one of my favorites since I was a kid, and still is. And I think it just, as anthologies go, it's one of the best for sure. I thought it was. Jesus. But yeah, so there's not much I can say that people don't already say about Creepshow. It's just such a cool movie. It's so different. And again, this is Stephen King, Romero, right? So so good, so good. Creepshow's a monthly spin for real. And the 4K does look really good. I actually was on the fence about getting the 4K because I'm trying to slow down my upgrades, but I kept hearing how great it looked, and with the colors popping, I was like, I gotta get it. So I fell to it and got it, but I waited and got this for $20. Where I think when it came out, it was like 30. So if you wait sometimes on some of these Screen Factory upgrades, if you wait a couple weeks, a month, 2 months, you can get them cheaper. I think I got this. I got the Burning. I waited and I got them for like $10 cheaper. So I'm doing that now with couple of like thinner. Like I haven't upgraded thinner yet. I do have the cool edition from Olive. So I'm holding off when that thing gets to a good price. Same with Clue. I haven't bought Clue yet. I love it. Um, but I haven't bought it yet. I'm gonna hold off and just wait. Um, oh, love Creepshow, although the Raft Part 2 is my favorite. What's my favorite? If I'm considering 1 and 2? Hmm. Obviously, the Raft is probably gonna have to be my top. I mean, man, as a kid, that traumatized the hell out of me because I saw these movies both on TV as a kid. And they could even been cut for all I remember, but I remember the Raft really freaked me out. On the first one, you know what? I love Meteor shit. I love that just because it's so hokey. He watches wrestling in it. As a kid, that just hit me so hard because like, at the end where all of a sudden he's covered in grass, I'm like, whoa, and weeds and whatnot. And I do love the what's it called? Tide You Over or whatever. What's the name of that one? I don't remember the name of the different ones, but with Leslie Nielsen in it, and Sam or whatever, Ted Danson. I love that one as well. But I think when I bring them both to the table, I'll probably have to say The Raft is probably my favorite as well. Um, yeah, the score is great. Maybe I did. Is this is does his book have that same monkey on it? If it's true, if that's why, then I 100%, 100%. And I even think, like, to be honest with you, I almost even remember, like, Fright Rags doing a Stephen King line, and they did, like, a couple shirts with, like, some classic artwork. Like, I think they did the old It one, which is my favorite, is the artwork with, like, the hand coming up in the gutter. And for some reason, I feel like they did do the Monkey Shines monkey. Maybe it said something else on it. You guys let me know. Maybe that's exactly what happened. Thanks for the rad lately, lady. What's up, Nick? What's up, Ben? Crate's awesome too. Crate is awesome. Now I gotta research this, man. You're probably exactly right. Again, I think both creep shows work on all levels. I think the one thing about Creepshow 2, I would say that kind of is a bummer for me is I just wish there was one more story in Creepshow 2. It's so funny. I almost feel like after we're done, I should do a short on that because, like, I'm wondering if a lot of people feel the same way. Yeah, so that that's why I was so confused, I think. Wow. All right, that's gonna be my short for tomorrow. That is so funny. Those bastards. All right, number 1 Romero movie, in my opinion, is gotta be Dawn of the Dead. Now, I just grabbed the DVD. Like I said, I do have this on many different versions. I have a VHS. I've got multiple DVDs. I've got the awesome Anchor Bay DVD Ultimate Collection, which is like probably one of the coolest Dawn of the Dead collections ever. And then I have this, it's right over here, that purple Dawn of the Dead, big, thick, chunky 4K Ultimate Edition box. It was just very big, and I don't want to bring it over. But I always liked this. And if you follow me on Instagram, I just posted this and the VHS of this weird, like, rainbow color thing. So, I mean, I don't know for sure. Was this the poster at any point in any country, or was this just kind of an Anchor Bay thing? Because they had this and they had a VHS with a similar rainbow kind of print. But it's funny because the VHS said director's cut and the DVD says US theatrical cut. So very interesting. But I always thought this was a real cool looking edition. So Dawn of the Dead, no matter what cut you want to talk about, is going to be my number one. It's my all-time favorite zombie movie, hands down. I mean, again, you take zombies, you take a mall, and you mash them together, and you got gold. I mean, 100%. Like I talked about when it was like um, amusement park. I'm like, I could sit there and just look around at the amusement park all day and enjoy the movie more than watching, a full zombie movie like Diary of the Dead, right? And the same thing. It's a great zombie movie, but just the aesthetic of looking at that old school mall and whatnot, it just really works for me. I think the characters all work for me. I just love everything about it. I just love everything about Dawn. And it's definitely my number one Romero movie ever. It's- oh my god. Um, yeah, because he was such a prick in, in the movie, and he did it so well, and you're not used to seeing him like that. Just as I have the second set box set, was stepped down from the bigger set. Um, Anchor Bay Blu-ray, yeah. So yeah, that's the tough part about not being region free. Luckily, with 4Ks, it's all good, but sometimes with the features that might not work out. But guys, again, I don't want to keep this a long one. It's late on a Sunday night. I appreciate you guys coming to hang out. We got over 60 people still in here. If you're checking this out live, definitely hit the like. And if you're checking this on the replay, hit that like button. I appreciate everything. And Guys, let me know in the comments. Even people who came in live, if you want to rethink your top 10 or top 5 Romero rankings, or you're checking this out in the replay, go write them in the comments. Let me know which rankings, what your ranking is, and or you can shit on mine if you want to, whatever. But just let me know. I would love to see what you guys have to say in comparison to what I have to say. And Astro Juicy, thank you so much for hanging out on Twitch. Like I said, we are the Rad Pack on Twitch, and you get all my content when I go live and all the Rad Pack content when you go live, all in one place over on Twitch. And if more people subscribe over there, if you're hanging out on Twitch, then it's going to give us more opportunities to do different things. Like I said, maybe live watch alongs with you guys where we actually can show the movie and do commentary while you guys watch with us. So definitely want to try to build a bigger base over there as well. Bog Zombie, thank you for hanging out. Um, Anything for Valentine's horror? So actually, yes. Um, Personally, me, I don't know yet, but if you check out the scrolling thing here, my podcast, which we're on all audio platforms, and we also have a YouTube channel called the Rad Pack. So if you type in Rad Pack Pod, you will see the logo. It's very similar to mine, just as the Rad Pack. Subscribe over there because we are doing an episode, a versus episode. It's going to be My Bloody Valentine, the original, versus Valentine. So you've got 1981 versus 2001 Valentine's Day slasher movies. And we're going to do a little versus battle, which is the type of show that we do where we need a lot of interaction from the fans. You guys are going to help us decide in different categories which is the better Valentine's Day slasher movie. So we're going to need your help. That is coming on the 23rd. And that's going to be a live show on that channel. So definitely go check it out because it is a big time participation type of show. So that is one that we're definitely going to do for the Rad Pack. And also, too, on the Rad Pack, we have a Rad 9 coming out, a community challenge for all other content creators. And it has to do kind of with Valentine's Day a little bit. But yeah, definitely go check out over there for to be part of that Valentine's Day stream. So thank you, man. And hey, good luck. Dirk, come back now and go check him out. So you guys check out his content. And if you like it, you can vote for him as the next horror YouTuber of the month. Thank you so much for popping in, Dirk. I appreciate that and hanging out this whole time with me. Valentine, 81 wins. You'd be surprised because it all depends on who's in the chat that night is going to decide who the winner is. So don't blame us. We're only 3 people, 3 different votes. Hey, man, I appreciate you checking this out. It's always good to have you guys here. I hate Necromantic, but I love Audition. So that would be a winner for me. I do love Audition. So, gang, thank you so much for hanging out, checking this out. Like I said, I truly appreciate all your support. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please do that. Really helps it out. Like I said, I've always got new stuff coming. And I'm going to try to get more stuff on lives. Again, it's a lot easier for me to do these on lives, and it's cool to have you guys interact, especially on these rankings to kind of see what you think of these different choices. So, gang, this is Garrett at Born2beRad, and like always, stay